Hello there, my name is Dr. Nought. This is Sorcery, Part 1, and today we are standing right outside of Biritanti, the largest village, or actually town, that we've crossed thus far. We're going to enter the town and see what mischief we can get ourselves into. You continue along the path. The sounds of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky here in the shade of the valley, and after so long on the dire road. The people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. See? The Minimite on your shoulder remarks. I told you it was a happy place. Jan, what's going on? Are they bewitched? Jan shakes his head. No, if there was magic, believe me, I'd know. This is the Festival of the Young. What's that? Well, take a look. Jan waves a little hand around the village. The idea is that once a year, the children are allowed the freedom of the village. It is a time of great fun and lots of pranks. It becomes quickly obvious what he means. You pass the first few buildings where you find a number of children sitting in the street and drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and is spanking her. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads, Glandragor's Tavern. It is all complete mayhem. Yes, I guess? You stride over to the boy intending to rescue the woman, but at the sight of your manner and sword, the boy puts her down and gets to his feet. And what are you about, he demands. I'm the leader of this village for today, and I say, get to bed. I'm not striking a child. You laugh at the boy. What? This is silly. He is quite clearly enraged, and lets up a hollering cry. Suddenly, there are 100 children round you, and not all beggars, but well-fed, and armed with sticks and pitchforks. Jan is making a hissing noise in your ear. Better run for it. I'm not fighting children. Alright, let's go. Swallowing your pride, you turn and race out of the village. The children follow, standing by the gates and waving their impromptu weapons. Well, Jan sniffs, you're quite the warrior, aren't you? Okay, get away from me. Get away. Now we have to camp outside? That's our only option? It's okay, I don't want to hang out with children anyway. You make your way out of the village and into a stand of tall, dry trees under the overhang of one of the cruel mountainsides. Between curling roots, you find a small place to settle down to rest. Jan perches a little way above on a knot and is quickly asleep. You are tired enough to follow suit. You are hungry from not having eaten. Okay, so let's eat something. You put out a quantity of your cheese and bread and eat quickly. The night's darkness draws in around you. In the distance, you hear screams and whoops from the village that only slowly fade. You feel lonely, distance from such revelry. You rest your head onto your backpack and close your eyes. Perhaps a few hours pass when you wake suddenly, aware of a shadow moving between the tree trunks. It turns as it sniffs the air. A wolfhound! This thing, what the hell are these things? Let's cast a spell. We can do dumb, I think, right? Let's try that. Is that an option? No, of course it's not. What do we got? L-A... Click. A... Ooh, let's do that one. You cast the spell, but strangely nothing happens. The wolfhound wheels round. You must defend yourself against him. You draw your sword, the long metal flashing in the moonlight. The beast roars and howls, so that just wasted 3 of our stamina. I'm going all out. I can't even do anything. Look at that. Nice. The wolfhound creeps toward you, jaws dripping and fur shining wet. It will not listen to reason. You charge headlong. It bounds forward, only to run itself onto your blade. It writhes and howls. As the wolfhound grows weaker, its snarl gets madder. It howls and whimpers. Let's defend. Ow, blow. The wolfhound circles round you, snapping at the air. You wait, eyes fixed on the beast. It is tensing, preparing to pounce. We'll take one, and then we're going to go all out on this next one. You stay low and alert. The wolfhound runs for your blood. Without a heartbeat to spare, you bring your sword around to defend yourself. You are shaken, but unharmed. The wolfhound scrapes at the ground, as if digging its own grave. It's dead. Oh, blow! You put all your strength into a sweep of your blade, hoping to finish the creature in a stroke. The wolfhound drops back. The wolfhound is crawling now. It's fur thick with dried blood. We'll defend this time, and then we'll hit it next time. Yeah, there's no way it can do anything here. The wolfhound charges for your neck. You react on instinct, dodging around a tree for cover. And this should do it. Yep, there you go. You put all your power into a swing of your sword. The blade connects. As the wolfhound weakly opens its jaws to bite, you plunge your blade between its teeth, and all the way down to its heart. The wolfhound howls, a gurgling, blood-soaked sound, and then it dies. 2 stamina lost, competent combat. The beast defeated, you pause to regain your breath and wipe your sword. Yeah, okay, time to sleep now. Then, once satisfied, you lay down again and try to sleep. Jan flutters down and resettles on your shoulder. Your dreams are filled with walking, with peaks and valleys and endless paths. A curious light plays across them, building walls to heights before ruining them as it moves away. The rest of the night passes silently. I don't get any stamina from that. Alright, so apparently that's all that we could do in Biritanti. I shouldn't have went to rescue that old woman. Dang. You rise early from your spot beneath the tree. As you gather your things, Jan leaps up onto your shoulder. Ready to go? He chirps. You rejoin the path on the far side of Biritanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Torapani today, the last village in the Shamutanti Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. Let's ask Jan. Which way, Jan? To the right is a forest. To the left, the going is easier. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Torapani. What else do you know? You demand suspiciously. Nothing, protests the creature. That's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you for my advice, you know. You'll get no more from the creature. With Torapani so close, it hardly matters which way you go, surely. I am not going the shorter forested way because I feel like this nymph or fairy or whatever Jan is supposed to be, he's probably going to lead me to but the waterfall. It's probably going to lead me to a bunch, and there's a house here too. Oh, this story, I was going to say I'm not going this way because I'm probably going to run into a bunch of these flying critters and get something bad's going to happen. It looks like nothing is going on this way, so let's go the shorter way. I just talked myself out of and then back into this decision. If you go right, you decide. Then be on your guard, Jan warns you. Well, why didn't you say that before? You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin. View west goes on forever, and sometimes you catch glimpses of Kharé on the northern horizon. Do I need this? No, 13 stamina is fine, keep going. You decide not to stop to eat, but push on. Jan is in a talkative mood and fills the air around with his chatter about what he can see, and how well things smell, and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune in Kharé. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Forest. Quite suddenly, Jan falls quiet and hisses in your ear. Stop! Stop now! Why? Because, insists the creature in a tiny voice. Because something is following us. You come to a dead stop. Jan is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. You've seen me, whispers a voice. I know it. What, I can just walk away? Let's just look. You peer into the darkness of the trees. Nothing, just shadow. And then you see. It's a shadow with two eyes. Who's there? There is no reply, but the tall, dark figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you had not seen him a moment before, even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away. He wields a sharp scimitar in expert hands. Just hold on a second, assassin. Let me look at my spell book and see if I can do anything. What do we got? We got K. Nope. We got W. O. What does that do? Create a shield. So I got that. Walk creates a shield, or DAP. Create lightning. I'm gonna go with the shield route because 3 stamina is actually quite a lot. So we're gonna walk it up. You cast a spell and it drains energy from you, but nothing happens. Strange. What? Oh, we're gonna die. You bring your sword up to bear. Let's go all out on the first one. Oh yeah. Get wrecked. The assassin bows to you, raises his curved sword in salute, and then takes his position. You measure the weight of your sword, then bring it up to deliver a cleaving blow. The assassin responds with a swing of dance-like grace and deceptive force. The air itself sings as the blade comes home, but he has underestimated you, and your own blow swipes his aside. You catch him deep in the side. Red blood soaks his black tunic. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, he tells you, in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it. So this time... let's go again. Yes! The trees watch as the battle unfolds. Relentlessly, you cut and thrust, keeping him pinned. You swing your sword fast, in towards his chest, outclassing his own sword swing. The assassin's breath is coming in short gasps. He closes his eyes for a moment to steady himself. The assassin spins his sword about, to shift the sword across his body. Let's defend. He doesn't have a whole lot going on here. You drop yourself into a crouch. His light blow sails over your head, moving with the deadly speed of a attacking serpent, or of an attacking serpent. You are mostly unharmed. The assassin laughs appreciatively. He swivels his grip, the weapon sings as it moves. Let's go. 5.5. He doesn't have a lot over here. We can probably take him out. There you go. Time to attack. You slash violently across his chest. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as to not admit when I am beaten, he groans. You may finish me if you choose to. Nope. But if you do me an honor and use my own blade. 1 stamina lost. Skilled swordplay. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor gasping. No, we're not sparing him. Let's go. With a single blow, you finish the assassin. He dies with his lips pursed in silent prayer, not cursing you, but commanding his own soul to a better place. You rifle his body for a measly 3 gold pieces, then continue on the path, out of the woods and onto a dusty hillside. Jan, for a brief while, says nothing. Perhaps he is shocked. But the blissful silence doesn't last for long. Yeah, because now we got this house. How much longer do you think we'll be traveling today? The Minimite on your shoulder asks. I'm hungry and tired. We've gone such a long way. You can stop here. The Minimite complains. You'd like that, I'm sure you would. You continue along the path and around the side of a hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope, with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water flows underneath her house, and the house itself is set on splayed struts like an insect, straddling the watercourse. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears. Greetings, you call. The woman looks up at you and smiles. Come over here, won't you, she calls. I can barely see you. Oh boy. Everything is just awful. Let's see what happens, and then yeah. You approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile, and gets up from the step. Come in, please, she beckons. I get so lonely living out here on my own, away from the villages. Are we gonna be cooked? This is like a Hansel and Gretel thing? Let's go inside. Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring us some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. Watch it, Jan whispers in your ear. I don't trust this one. Not that I care what happens to you, of course. I'm not drinking that. Are you joking? The tea is still hot. You cup it between your hands as you speak. What's your name? They call me Gazamoon, she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known in my way. You nod, but you have never heard of her. This is a beautiful place, you remark. watching the river outside the door plunging away over the cliff face. "This is the top of the crystal waterfall," she says. "The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for luck." She giggles meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. "Why do you live alone?" "It must be more dangerous." "Oh," she smiles sweetly. "No one bothers about me. Why would they?" You can't help but notice she has not answered the question. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. "Oh," she says suddenly, "I've forgotten the pot." She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. Oh boy, so we're gonna do this Princess Bride switch cups with her thing? Let's do it. While she is away from the table, you switch the 2 cups around. Then when she returns, you lift the one closest to you and drink. A sudden deep pain grips your stomach and you double over. No! What's happening? You wince and cough as you find yourself seizing up. "Oh, suspicious stranger," laughs the woman. "I can count on travelers suspecting my witchcraft." "I'll kill you," is what I try to say. But you are paralyzed and quite powerless. The old woman begins to search through your bag. Jan watches, arms folded, doing nothing but clearly not surprised. Then, with a coo of delight, she pulls out the spellbook page you were given by the old man in tree. "My book," she cries, "the missing page! Why didn't you tell me you had my missing spell?" She scurries off into the kitchen and returns with a cup of liquid, which she pours into your half-open mouth while clucking and stroking your head. It is an antidote, and you feel your body slowly unfreeze. Finally, she slaps you to bring you around. "What is this spell?" you ask. "It's a spell of pest repulsion. You have no idea how useful it is around here." She shakes her head. 4 days ago, I was visited by a traveler such as yourself. But when I was away making my tea, as I always do, he started leafing through my book and tore out a page. He must have been a wizard of power, because he vanished almost too fast for me to curse him." "What curse did you cast?" "Well, you saw him," she replies. "I aged him. Didn't stop him escaping, though." She fusses with the page, preparing her spell book with some gentle magic. "Shall I show you how useful the spell is?" she says. "Please." "My pleasure." Jan begins to squeal and screech and make some awful noises about what he'll do if he ever catches up with you again. But it doesn't stop the old lady from casting her spell. The Minimite vanishes. You feel a flow of magic back through your body. You hadn't realized it was gone, but with the Minimite around, your spells have been weakened. Now you are strong once more. "Thank you." The old woman nods her head, and you leave her hut. I knew there was something with that stupid Minimite. Alright. So, before we get to the village, that actually worked out pretty well, but before we get to the village, I think this is Kharé. We're getting there. I think this is the end of it. This is our path. We didn't do anything down here. Interesting. Yeah, we'll stop it here. We'll continue and see how far we can go in part 1 before next time. Well, not before next time. Next time we'll do part 1, but then we'll do part 2 after this. So the Shamutanti Hills is what we're doing now, and we'll see what happens next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then. Take care. Goodbye.